Lights, camera, action.
Wait,
That's it.
I think it's already started.
The purpose of philosophy is a contested question. It means literally, it means the love of wisdom. It's become this kind of big body of knowledge, but originally the philosophers were like Socrates. It wasn't something you got a degree in, it was more like a conversational style. Really, philosophy should be about a kind of conversation where we challenge each other and we're not afraid to be sort of shown the errors of our thinking so that we arrive eventually at some kind of better truth. Or at least we eliminate some bad ideas.
We love you. Bye.
Happy New Year!
Happy day.
It doesn't know where it's going. That's the beauty of philosophy. It's really just moving in this conversational way and following the conversation.
Hey.
Absurdism is a really fun kind of project that's between philosophy and art, I think. People before absurdism thought the world had a kind of rational structure and you could make predictions. Good people would be rewarded and bad people would be punished. They called this essentialism, that there was a kind of essential way the world was and all we had to do was look it up in the instruction book and follow the instructions. Absurdism comes along and says there is no structure to the universe. There is no justice, really, intrinsically. There's only us. And so we have to make the meaning of life as we go through it. The idea that the world has no intrinsic meaning is what they meant by absurdism, that the world is absurd.
People place value in different things in different places, so naturally with all of this displaced value, nothing actually matters.
In that moment, it feels like the biggest thing in the world, but when you look at that bigger scope of it, it doesn't matter.
I do believe that there's no way shit just randomly came together. Like, that just seems impossible to me.
One of the biggest lies we tell ourselves is that everything happens for a reason. That's what we do when the absurd happens. Everything happens for a reason. That's a dumbass idea. That is wrong. Horrible things happen that should not happen.
Maybe I am doing nothing, but if there's anything that I can do, I would like to think that I can make some little bit of difference, because it's a little bit here, a little bit there that perhaps add up to more. So yes, I do think that there has to be something that I can affect.
Life has too much to offer to say that it's meaningless.
They started to celebrate what they called the absurd. And for them, it was a kind of technical term. We use absurd sort of in a casual way, but philosophers like Jean-Paul Sartre, the existentialist, and then Albert Camus turned absurdism into a kind of philosophical view.
Life is meaningful because his work in life made my life meaningful. It's not by any means meaningless. Albert Camus, I can't begin to say that his life is meaningless.
I think everything we do has some kind of reason.
There's no way to say that nothing matters to when we're all different. if nothing mattered, even the small details of what your favorite color is, then we would all be exactly the same.
And as I look at this table here, and I know what's in hundreds of boxes of archival storage, in the probably thousands of items of artifact value that we have here, I know that every piece of that came from a meaningful life that was being led meaningfully.
In my opinion, I think everyone has a purpose.
And I think that the universe will place certain obstacles in front of you that are meant to show you that purpose in that place.
And I think that is necessary in life to not be able to explain or rationalize every little thing you do.
I don't think humans will ever be able to fully comprehend that because people are always going to nitpick over things.
It's not that the science isn't there, it's that the science isn't there in a way that we can fully wrap our heads around. And that's where you just have to literally have like a leap of faith.
What matters most to you?
Family. Happiness.
My life.
Just like happiness overall.
Pretty much that the world finds a way out of this the hypocrisy that's going on.
Just making the most of the little bit of time that we have on this world.
They, generally thought the world, as people have understood it, is, supposed to have a rational structure to it, and God is in his heaven, and if we do the right things, we'll get what we deserve. And so thousands of years people have believed in that. And the absurdists said, you need to look around more because people suffer who don't deserve it. People who really deserve to suffer get away with murder. And the world doesn't seem to make sense when you look at it more closely. And then I would just add to it that the artists and the philosophers who believed this also had a sense of humor about it, that it's a little different from nihilism. Nihilism recognized that the world has no intrinsic meaning, and then they got really depressed. And the absurdists recognized the world has no intrinsic meaning, and they started to laugh.
What are you doing? I'm just
laughing at you.
As long as you play, yeah. Play with it? You can't play near it.
What matters most to you?
Family. Probably a boring answer, but I'm going to say family.
Family.
My family.
My family.
I'd say my fiance.
My 2 kids, my 2 boys, Samson and Nathaniel.
For Camus and the other existentialists, love is the antidote to the problem of absurdity. Because if the world is, intrinsically meaningless and you have to give it meaning, then it turns out to be a very kind of local thing. It's not the global question about what does God want from the whole universe, should I look it up in the Bible. For the existentialists, the solution is to be authentically present in your life.
This is like the number one question that people ask, other than is there life after, right? Is how do you achieve happiness and how do you keep it? People are obsessed with it for good reason.
Relationships are important because nobody can get through this life alone.
Individuality is a mythology. It is. It's a complete mythology. We're meant to live in relationship with one another.
I think love is always going to be universally the thing that grounds us in everything. Love in career, love in friendships. Love is rooted in literally everything. Somebody's love of architecture is the reason why we're in this building.
I'm trying to think of there are so many different kinds of love. I loved my students. Of course, I love my family.
It's sufficient is the thing, right? The word love, I think, is not a rich enough word. I don't know what the right word would be, but we use it so casually.
I don't think words have much to do with it. Anyone can say, oh my God, I love you.
We can say we love food, right? It's just the word isn't right, but I think it goes back to that connection thing.
And that tells me something about whether life is meaningful or meaningless. If we take a lost life as a tragedy, that means it was meaningful to be alive. And it's a loss, literally and figuratively.
There's other things too, but those are the main things. So maybe God isn't in his heaven and, we're following the Ten Commandments. Maybe it's much more obscure and almost seemingly nihilistic, but then I can love my son, and that gives my whole life scope and meaning. And I can love, a partner, and now on a daily basis, my life has meaning, even if the larger picture of meaning is just a giant question mark.
Would you mind repeating the definition of absurdism, just so I can get a better shot?
Okay, it'll be totally different this time because there is no definition.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right.
Give me a moment. I gotta go on the next project.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna change the subject. So that was lovely. You had some really great answers.
Thanks.
I think we're done. We call it a wrap. All right. So I'm gonna wrap it up with one last question. You've been really amazing. You have. I'm not lying to you.
She says that to all the people, right?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Signing out.
What matters most to you?
My family connections and animals.
Life fulfillment. Giving as much love and as you possibly can in the world.
How my art brings joy to other people.
My family and my faith.
Living my passion.
My name's Joe Porsche, and I ensure that I am 18 years of age or older, and I agree to be in the film What's Going On. So the thing that's most important to me is you, Katie, and your sister and brother and your mom. Love you.